ξεκίνεται στο γήπεδο, πλησιάζει την περιοχή και...
Κατέβασε και εσύ το Bet On Alfa app και μην χάσεις ούτε ένα γκολ. Bet On Alfa. Ανεβήκαμε κατηγορία.
My demeanor's changed lately. Welcome to No Choftes, powered by Bet On Alfa. Thank you again for sponsoring us, Bet On Alfa. We love you. Little heart thing there. I can't do it. Fuck it. Embrace. Right, I didn't want to have to do this, but as they say, is that the right term? I've got nothing better to do today. Work is quiet. And what a surprise. It's quiet news day. And this morning, I'm in my WhatsApp group with the boys and I'm seeing all these messages pinging. What's happening? What's happening at our club again? What's with the drama? Please tell me what's happening at Omonoia. Is there more problems with Grigori? I'm hearing stories about Grigori falling out again with Sofroni and there's so much shit happening. It's not fair. Why us? Why always us? Boys and girls, as the tagline says, Headloss, panic stations, meditate, whatever. Calm the fuck down. It's Sofroni's birthday. My guy should be chilling on his birthday, taking a training session and then going to maybe to the beach. I don't know, maybe Governor's Beach, just chill, smoke some shisha, enjoy his birthday. He's what, 46 now? Nazisi, the passion merchant. Let him have some passion with his missus, yeah? Get that passion out of his system. Come on now. Listen, like I said, I didn't want to have to do this fucking pod. But as I said, I've got nothing else to do. And I want to address it with a lot of people right now because clearly there seems to be more and more of an agenda with this club. Now, I'd be a hypocrite if I said that we didn't have an agenda because clearly we do. We broadcast news about Omonoia. We discuss certain topics. And I think it's only right that I address this because I always address a lot of situations with this club. I'm always opinionated when it comes to the way that this club is run or certain things that occur at Omonoia Football Club. But what I will say, boys and girls, with this situation, please just calm the fuck down. It's a nothing story. It goes back to what I keep on saying about various news outlets in Cyprus. The slightest cigarette drop on the floor and it sets off a fucking wildfire, doesn't it? Yeah? The slightest. There's nothing else to discuss. Okay, obviously AEK are playing tonight in a Conference League game, which is a huge game for them. And this story was slightly overshadowing their European match, slightly. Although, having looked at some news sources which broke the story, they've taken it down. They've taken down the story now because obviously they know it's a non-story. All of this stemmed from what I understand, a Facebook post by a fan group, and they said that obviously there was an issue with Grigori and Sofroni. Apparently, according to one outlet, Sofroni was angry that the new sporting director is going to choose a new head coach. Right, okay, let's get this straight. First of all, we don't even know who the fucking new sporting director is. Apparently, it's some German guy that's at Galatasaray. No one knows what the fuck is going on. As far as I'm aware, number one, the guy isn't particularly sure about whether he's going to come to Omonoia or not. And number two, he's more of a technical guy. So he's going to want to be in the dugout. But anyway, I'm going to move that to one side for now. Let's get this right out in the open. We announced that we were going to bring in a new sporting director or technical director, whichever we're going to call him, before Sofroni got the job. So I'm pretty sure that there was a discussion when he was approached for the job that, hey, do you know what? We've got a new sporting director coming in, so, make of that what you will. And perhaps he was given some reassurances, right? But again, we don't know what happens behind closed doors, right? For all we know, he's probably happy that he's got a sporting director there because when it comes to transfers, maybe there's a guy that actually knows what the fuck they're doing, not having to rely on agents and other people to bring in players, perhaps. So it's all well and good stirring up the pot and people calling up radio stations to talk about Bellares and Choftes, yeah, because that's what it is, really and truly. And do you know what? For once, Omonoia have done a really, really good thing by not saying anything about it. What's the point in stoking up the fire? Now, people are saying, well, why are you doing it? Well, number one, as I said before, there's nothing else to talk about. And number two, I just want people to understand, that this is absolutely nonsensical. It's a nothing story. But again, it goes back to what I've been saying about this club for a very, very long time. Omonoia gets clicks. Okay. There's only a few clubs in Cyprus that when a story breaks, people go crazy. They lose the plot. They start pulling their hair out. Not me. I don't have any hair to pull out. But they start pulling shit off. They pull their arms off. They pull their balls off. It's crazy. It's nonsensical. But as I said, it's slow sports news day. So what else are they going to go with? They're going to go with a little rumor put up by a fan website or a fan Facebook page of a rival club, knowing full well that there's a derby coming up against us. And let's get it right. It's a little bit of mischief making, isn't it? It's a little bit of trolling, and it's worked. And granted, they're going to get all these clicks and they're going to get a few laughs, and they might have a little WhatsApp group or a little Facebook chat group. Oh, we got them. We got them. We made headlines. And okay, fine. Now, I've done it myself. In fact, I did it beginning of the season when Tom Rogic was linked with Omonoia. I leaked that fake story just as an experiment to see how narrow-minded and how stupid some people can fucking be. Because one little outlet breaks a story and it spreads like wildfire. It's Chinese whispers, isn't it? They're going to sign a player. They're going to sign a technical director. And the story ends up being, oh, someone's got 3 dicks. Like, what the fuck is going on? What the fuck is going on? Mario, bro, you hit the nail right on the head. The thing is, our fans are promoting this nonsense news. It's nonsense. It's bullshit. Calm the fuck down. As I said, there's a big derby game coming up, right? And no one expected us to make top 6. I didn't. I sure as fuck didn't. But here we are with an opportunity to possibly get in the top 3. Possibly. I'm not saying it's going to happen. It's going to be a gargantuan task. But there's also the possibility of putting a little stick in the upward bike for the title charge, isn't it? They're rolling down the street and you stick a fucking bit of wood through the spokes of the bike and they go flying. And that's what they want to do. They want to stop us from derailing their title charge. And it's a bit of a weird one for me because we're not really much of a threat to them, are we, if you think about it? Really and truly, the stats don't lie, isn't it? Facts don't care about feelings. And we've beaten them 3 times in the last 31 games. So why are little Omonoia, as they call us, we're a little club now because we don't take that many fans to games or whatever. We're a little club. Why would they be scared of little Omonoia? Because this little Omonoia is that mosquito that's, flying around the room. You can't see it. You can't really see it at the moment. But when we bite and we leave it with a mark. And I think that's what they're a little bit worried about. But I don't know why they're worried about us. Like, really and truly, why? Because we knocked them out of the cup. Because they're worried that we might get a point off them or we might somehow beat them. I can't see it happening. But I think it's going to happen anyway. So why would they do that? And do you know what? They say that we've got a complex about them. And do you know what? They're probably right. Because we would love to have the European adventures that they've had. Like, we would love to have 7 title victories in a row, wherever it is in the modern day, right? We'd love to have a lot of their history. Let's get it right. They are a historical club and they've achieved some fantastic things on the island. No shadow of a doubt. But why would you be concerned about little Omonoia? I mean, are we a problem? Are we some kind of deterrent? Are we a hindrance? Are we a problem? I don't know. So this complex that we have, is it slowly creeping into them? Are they slowly doubting their club? Are they doubting the title challenge? Are they looking over their shoulder and looking at Aris and thinking, oh, hang about? Are they looking over their shoulder and thinking, I might get knocked out of the Conference League and they'll be focusing on the title? Is this what it is? I don't know. I mean, let's get it right. I mean, they beat Buffalo, didn't they, in the league, in the regular season? They drew against Aris away and they lost at home to them. So maybe that's sitting in their minds right now. They lost to AEK away from home. So maybe in the derbies at the moment, they're a little bit worried. They're a little bit concerned. The complacency is gone now, isn't it? The big bad Abu El are scared, which is weird. Like, what? Why? Like, why would you be scared of all the other teams? Why would you be worried or concerned about what the other teams do? So, you know, us being Gadmiotissa just about and getting into the top 6, it's a little bit of a problem for them, isn't it? But do you know what? Listen, at the end of the day, they'll probably go on to win the league, and I'll probably be capped. You know, these video clips will be capped and made on these little video montages, and they'll be laughing or whatever. But really and truly, for fans to be behaving that way, who's got the complex? I'm just saying, you know, there must be a method behind the madness. Clearly, they've got some idea of what they're doing, or maybe as I said, they just wanted to be mischief making. That's fine, absolutely fine. But the fact is, no matter how much mischief you make behind the scenes, it's not going to hurt us any more than we've already been hurt anyway. Because what else could happen with this club? What else? So really and truly, boys and girls, yeah, well, thank you, Pedro. Still looking at the derbies during the season between the top 6. Upwell was first with 2 points difference from Ike and 4 from Aris. So they know it will be close. There you go. It's squeaky bum time, isn't it? You know when you need to go for a shit and you're close to the toilet, but you're feeling that turtle head coming out. That's what they're feeling right now, isn't it? Honestly, that's weird. Like, this is the other thing that I don't understand, right? From their perspective, they say that, you know, we want to be them. We are envious of them. So if we're not a problem, why don't you just ignore us? It don't make no sense. It's like I don't know. It's like someone play. Okay, back in the day, you can't play this anymore in England because there's cameras everywhere. But we used to play a game called Knockdown Ginger, yeah, where you used to find a house, knock on the door, and run away. And then someone would open the door and they'll be confused as fuck, and you'd be hiding laughing, yeah. Like, is this what we're doing to them now? Are we playing Knockdown Ginger to them? Are we knocking on their door, running away, and they're like, "What the fuck?" So we're gonna have to retaliate in some way and then think of some very don't get me wrong, it's a very creative way because they know the system, don't they? They know how to work things. You put up a post on your Facebook page with probably 20, 30, 40,000 followers, and someone in the press has seen it because they're on their fan pages and they think, oh, that's a good story. That's a very good story. But the problem is they don't do their research. They don't pick up the phone and call someone at Omonoia. Have you got a statement to make about this? Have you got something to say about this? Would you like to comment on this? Because that's what journalists are supposed to do, aren't they? Let's get it right, because we've really lost touch of how journalism works these days. It's always about a narrative, isn't it? It's always about a narrative, and I get it. Because if you have a narrative as a journalist, then you're going to get more engagement and more views. But the true element, the DNA of journalism is to provide facts. And facts don't matter anymore, unfortunately, for some, or for most, should I say, the way that social media and the media works these days. Facts don't matter. It's all about providing information that will get you clicks and generate views and clickbait. That's effectively what it is. So shame on these journalists that decided to put out stories like this, not just this story, but other stories in particular, without doing their research. Just do your research. Don't rely on someone's gumbara that's open, knows someone that knows someone that knows someone. It don't work. Yeah? For me, I see through the bullshit. But as I said, I've got nothing else to do with my time today, so I'm going to do a pod and get people talking and discussing this issue. So what do you guys believe has happened? Because that is my point of view. That's my point of view. And Faso has hit the nail right on the head. I posted about it last week. They decided to do an article on Andone's shirt. Yeah. One of the newspapers, or sorry, one of the websites, they released a post about the Apollon head coach wearing the same shirt 3 games in a row or some shit, and that's some kind of lucky charm. Like, do these people have nothing else to fucking write about? Clearly they don't. There's nothing else going on in football, especially in Cypriot football. So some of them are like little scavengers, like little rats. You know, they find something on the floor and they just fucking go for it. So look, I get it. Journalism is difficult these days, especially when there's nothing else to write about. So you're going to want to get clicks and get more people viewing and get more people engaged and make a no story, which is why they clip a lot of podcasts, which is why they, for example, Malek on the Bala.com podcast, he will say a few things, and what they'll do, instead of doing one whole segment or one whole page, they'll break it down into 3 or 4, and it's like, he said this, he said this, he said this. It's just laziness. Like, honestly, it's just laziness. Really and truly. And this is why podcasts are on the rise at the moment. Because you got guaranteed access, you got guaranteed content, right? I'd just like to see a lot of these football writers in Cyprus make their own podcasts. Like, do your own thing. If you got a story, break it. Or do it like what we do on StreamYard. Just stream a story. It would be great if Garkida or 24 Sports had their own YouTube. Obviously, got their own YouTube channels, I'm assuming, right? Just do like a live stream, like every 20 minutes, every half an hour, get people on to talk about football. It's so simple. But see, this is the thing. In Cyprus, no disrespect, but the mentality is so fucking backward. It's so backward when it comes to media, when it comes to journalism, when it comes to social media, when it comes to a lot of things. I heard today that a lot of companies, in fact, most companies don't even do DBS checks. Now, you lot think, what the fuck is a DBS check? So a DBS check is something that we do in the UK and certain countries in Europe, whereby if I apply for a job and they offer it to me, I will only get the job if they do a criminal record check, right? And there's, you go to a certain department in the government, and it's basically to do with employment. Yes, to do with employment, and they have all your details, be it your criminal record, any kind of shit, any legal issues pending, anything. And your future employer has a list of all the criminalities. Unfortunately, I'm clean. But they don't do that in Cyprus. You got people out there that are working with children, at coaching level, right? And I'm not saying that paedophiles don't exist in Cyprus. I'm sure they do, but you don't really talk about it too much. But you got people working with children that haven't been checked. I don't understand. If you want to be a teacher in England, you need to go through stringent CRB checks to work with people, to work with underage people. But they don't do it in Cyprus. And this scares me. So you could be anyone coming to the country to work, and they don't do these fucking criminal record checks. You could have a guy that, no disrespect, just hypothetically speaking, you might have a guy coming from, I don't know, think of a country, Sri Lanka, I don't know, right? Who's a known fucking paedophile, will come to Cyprus, they haven't done any checks on his background. Here you go, you can coach a team. But what's he going to be doing? These things need to be implemented in Cyprus. I'm going off on a fucking tangent here. There you go. It's simple to do Felemu, but difficult to do well. This is why you guys are smashing it with the pods. Bro, like, I started this pod, to talk about Omonoia, and because I knew there wasn't an English-speaking Omonoia podcast, and I think we've done fairly well, to be fair. We've rattled a lot of cages and pissed off a lot of people, but who gives a fuck? Let's get it right. I don't care. I don't care. If I gave a shit, I would stop doing it. But the whole system in Cyprus is failing, man. It's failing every fucking metric, really and truly. And this is the thing, like, people need to get with the program. I'm not saying like bring the British ways of doing things, because we're fucked as well. But just do the basics right. Like, think about the long-term plans. I mean, look, I've had discussions with friends about blockers. And blockers are something that pediatricians use in the United States to slow down or to prevent children from going through puberty. And these are the same drugs that they use to chemically castrate pedophiles. And these things aren't discussed because it's almost as like people are scared to talk about these things. But anyway, this is a deeper subject. This has gone way off fucking tangent. It really has, hasn't it? It really like deviated from the whole subject. Yeah, I want to go for one. But as I said, journalism needs to improve in Cyprus. I don't care what anyone says. Honestly, it needs. There are some very, very good journalists out there. I'm not going to lie. And it will be unfair for me to name them, and it'll be unfair for me to name and shame the shit ones. But I think you man need to fucking sort your lives out, really and truly, because more often than not, you create more harm than good. I get it. You want the clicks, you want the attention, you need it for the revenue, you need it to bring in money. But at what cost? At what cost? Because look, I've said it time and time again, as a podcast, we have a responsibility. Right? There are things that I've said on this pod that are close to the knuckle, and there are things on this pod that I look back on and think, well, maybe I shouldn't have said that because we have an influence. And sometimes I've said things because they need to be said. But the way I see it is that the media have a responsibility, be it talking about politics, be it talking about just the minor things. But all of them have a narrative, boys and girls. All of them have an agenda. Yeah? The best example I could give is the BBC in the UK. I mean, they're clearly linked with the Conservative Party, and they have narratives, and they have to, give out that narrative. I'm sure many news outlets in Cyprus have narratives because they may be linked with various political parties or whatever. But the whole point of journalism is the truth, and to investigate the truth or what you think may be the truth, and to do your research, not rely on statistics that are provided by the government because they can be manipulated, not to be, you've got to be fair and down the middle. And while we're an Omonoia podcast and we talk about Omonoia, and yes, you could say that we're biased, obviously, because we're an Omonoia podcast, we do like to say things how they are. But why can't these media outlets in Cyprus do the same? It don't make no sense to me. Clearly, it's easier to throw out a narrative and throw out a story to get the clicks and to get the attention, but you're creating more harm than good by falsifying things and lying. Because yeah, it's great for your pockets, it's great for your Google Analytics, but what are you doing in the long term? Like, what are you doing? You're only encouraging people to lie and to manipulate the system. I'm sure there are thousands of kids in Cyprus that want to become journalists, and they're studying abroad because one day they want to come back home and become journalists. Sometimes they might be stopped or blocked because there are gatekeepers in the industry that are stopping people from becoming journalists and realizing their dreams. But really and truly, as I said before, the main element of being a journalist is to break the truth, not to feed off narratives and to follow agendas, talking about wars, whether it be a proxy war, which you may believe, or whether it be a legitimate war. The fact is, no one wins. It's that simple. There are only casualties. And that's what happens with journalism. When you break a story that isn't true, I mean, I don't even know if people are sued in Cyprus. Are they sued for slander or litigation? I don't know. It happens in the UK a lot. But when you come out, and the thing is, here's the other thing I will say. More often than not, when I see a story break in Cyprus, you never see a name by the article, do you? Unless it's a piece talking about a certain situation and someone might put their name to it. You don't see it that often. Andone is photographed wearing 3 shirts of the same shirt, 3 games in a row. Who puts their name to it? Who's the editor? Who's the journalist? I need to know these names. Who are these people? I see a lot of copy and pasting from other websites. Who are these people? Who's actually getting paid to find this information? Who? It makes me sick. So, like, again, this story that broke this morning was utter fucking bullshit. But I had 8 people messaging me on Instagram. What's going on? Nothing is going on, bro. Like, ignore what you see in the press. The same way I go with fucking players. Oh, he's going to join us. Unless I see this player holding the fucking scarf or holding the shirt or putting his name to a fucking contract, or Rizvani is talking about it, I ain't going to believe it. And neither should you. Neither should you. So anytime you see a story about Omonoia, you want to click on it, you want to read it, don't react. Just don't react, honestly. If these people are getting press passes, I want one. Do you know why, Thasso, they won't give you or I or other people press passes? Because we ask the right questions. We ask the questions that are open, that don't require yes or no answers. We ask questions that get to the crux of a matter. We ask questions that might be a little bit uncomfortable, that people don't want to either translate or maybe they don't want to answer. We don't ask the same repetitive questions. But whoever are allocating these fucking, press passes, they've got their pares and they look after them. It's that simple. Nepotism is rife wherever you go, especially in Cyprus. They should call it Nepotism Island. That's what they should call it. Nepotism Island. There you go. Anyway, so I've done 24 minutes of just babbling on. Let's smash them. Yeah, bizzo, man. When was the system succeeding? It's always been failing since it began because some people control the news. There you go, Mario. But you, as a younger gentleman, the next generation, the younger people, you guys need to open your eyes a bit more. You guys need to open. And I'm not saying that you're not sorry, I'm not saying that you're oblivious to everything. What I will say, please do not be woke, be awake. Yeah? Don't fall into the fucking narratives that TikTok and Instagram and Twitter want to feed you. Don't fall into that. Do your own research. Look into things yourself. If you're so passionate about something, look into it, right? And ask the right questions to the right people. It's all about questioning. But unfortunately, we live in a society now where it's like, oh, well, I've seen it. It's in black and white, so it's got to be true. It's got to be gospel. Anyway. Good afternoon, Stel. Good job on the West. Thank you, Savicho. Thank you very much, man. To be honest, I'm very pleased with that podcast, to be honest. I made the appearance. They've had over 5,000 views. I had the... Oh, shut up. My phone. 67 comments. Yeah. So, yeah, I'm very pleased with the... Savicho even put a comment. Savicho, bravo there. There you go. So, yeah, man. Anyway, you want to see the West Ham podcast? Oh, fucking, I need to find it now. Modore, Pedro. I'll WhatsApp it to you, bro. I'll WhatsApp it to you. So, Ade Vale link. And Daxi, all right, give me 2 seconds, man. I do things for my people. Now, where is it? Calypso, history. Because naturally, I look at my own. That anyone that has me on their podcast, I always be so braggadocious about it. Here you go. This is the West Ham podcast I did to talk about AEK. So yeah, they got 29,000 subs, and I think we're gaining more and more subs on the back of that. So we can grow, we can progress, and we can move. Anyway, look, thank you everyone for tuning in. I've got food in the oven and I smell burning, so I think I've burnt my food. Oh well, it is what it is. Anyway, don't forget to like, don't forget to can't even say subscribe anymore. Don't forget to like, subscribe, tell your nunna or tell anyone that's bothered about watching podcasts about Omonoia. So until next time, which will probably be after the Aboil game. Barmen, Shilakamu, for fuck's sake. And ignore the press. Ignore them. A lot of them are leeches. They don't do their research. It's fake news. Fake news.